Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Narayanam Padmabhavam Vasishtam Shaktim cha Tatputra Parasharam cha Vyasam Shukam Gaudapadam Mahantam Govinda Yogindra Matasya Shishyam Sri Shankaracharya Matasya Padma Padam cha Hastamalakam cha Shishyam Tam Totakam Vartika Karamanyan Asmadgurun Santatamanatosmi Shruti Smriti Puranana Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Samasta Jana Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vitvaram Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmyaham. While thus defining the terms that are frequently used in the Vedanta Shastra, Viveka, Vairagya, Shama, Dama, Uparaditi, Diksha, Shraddha, Samadhanam, iti. In that, he said, Viveka is Nitya Anitya Vastu Vivekaha. That is to say that Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya iti, that is what he said, iti evam ropa vinishchayaha soyam Nitya Anitya Vastu Vivekaha sama sadhamudahurtaha. The world is illusion. Brahman is the one real truth. And Vairagya is Tadvairagyam Jugupsaya Darshana Shravanadibihi Dehadi Brahma Paryante Anitye Bhogya Vastuni. Ya Jugupsa Sa Vairagya. Ya Jugupsa. What is that called? Jugupsa? Hatumicha Jugupsa. That is the desire to leave aside Darshana Shravanadibihi. Whatever is gained through the senses, such as seeing and hearing. Seeing is about the world, hearing is about worlds that are not perceived but said to be there in the Vedas. Dehadi Brahma Paryante Anitye Dhyasa. From Deha onwards, Brahma Paryante, until the Brahman, Brahma Loka. Here Brahman should be understood as Brahma Paryanta, Brahma Loka Paryante. Not Brahman, the supreme reality. Anitye Bhogya Vastuni Jihasa, means Jugupsa. Then the first among the sixfold qualifications, Shamaha is what virajya vishayavrada dosha drishtya muhurmuhu. As we have seen, vairagya is temporary if there is the vasanas are still present very strongly, in which case the vairagyam will not stay too long. Because of the overwhelming pressure of the vasanas in the form of memory of experiences can cause still the desires to go for experiences which are pleasant, which are, desirable. So therefore, dosha drishti is important. Muhurmuhu dosha drishtya virajya vishaya vratat from the chaos, as Gurudev puts it, multitude of vishayas. Virajya, having given up that pursuits, then whenever we take away our mind from something which we are used to, that mind has to be occupied with something else. Otherwise, it will go back. So therefore, swalakshe niyata avastha manasaha. Manaha saha swalakshe niyata avastha. Applying the mind to the swalakshya, moksha marge. That is called shama uchyate. So the mind control is not merely control, it is withdrawal and application. So it is like money withdrawn, you must invest somewhere. Otherwise you'll spend. Isn't that true? When you are earning money, what you do, having earned the money, and you say, okay, I want to conserve the money, I don't want to spend in unnecessary things, okay. Then what are you going to do with that? Conserved money should be invested. In the same way, mental energy withdrawn from pursuits of the worldly things must be consciously invested in the reaching of the goal. So shama should not be merely understood as withdrawal state. It is not that. Withdrawn from the world and applied towards the self. So that's why he said, Tasminscha vairagye sadi manaswalakshe sagune nirgune va niyatam avasishtamanam nischalam nirvikaram bhavati idi mano niyata avastarupa samasya vairagya janyatvam aha virajya idi. Vairagya janyatvam shamaha. Without the vairagya, the withdrawal of the mind is also not possible. Only when the mind has clearly seen the defect of the object or the things that one wants to pursue, the mind will be easily can be withdrawn. So here that is the reason why it is said, Vairagya janyatvam aha virajya shamasya vairagya janyatvam. So tatra Uttarakaligatvasya bodhanat vairagyajanyatvam bodhitam bhavati. Now, you see, the vairagyajanyatvam bodhitam, before it is, because it is to come out of vairagya, shama is spoken later. What is dhamma? Dhamma is simply put indriya nigraha. But that is not the mere simple definition, no doubt. But here explanation is given by Shankaracharya in the verse number 23. Vishayebhya paravartya Stapanam swasvakolake Ubhayesham indriyanam Sadama parikirtitaha Bhyaanalambanam Vrittehe Esho Paratiruttama Vishayebhya Paravartya Sthapanam Swasvagolake Ubayesham Indriyanam Sadama Parikirtitaha Bahyana Lambanam Vritte Esho Paratiruttama. Both Dhamma and Uparati both are explained here. Vishayebhya, from the objects, Paravartya, withdrawing, Swasvagolake, in their own places, Sthapanam, abiding, staying, Ubayesham Indriyanam Vishayebhya. Ubayesham, both, Karmendriyanam cha Jnanendriyanam Vishayebhya. So, Vishayas, objects are of two kinds. One is those which are interacted by the organs of perception and then organs of action as well. Such an ability to bring those senses into their own abodes. Sadamaha parikirtidaha. So here the explanation is given. Manasaha vishaya vichara samarthya sattvat swadaha eva virajyeta iti yuktam. Bahyendriyanam shrotradinam jnanakarananam shvagadinam karmakarananam cha swada tatra samarthya abhavat pragrahastaniyena manasa avashyaha ashvastaniyanam bahirindriyanam shabdadi rupa vishayam argebhyah paravartya parangmukhi kritya swasvakolake karna shushkuli vadanadi dosheshu sthapanam uparata vyaparata asambhadanam yat satamaha parikirtitaha. See, mind can be withdrawn by itself. Sense organs cannot withdraw by themselves. Right? It is because eyes cannot not see. When do eyes cannot not see? When the mind decides not to see. The eyes are open. When the eyes are open, obviously they would keep bringing the information. So what decides? That's why he says, Manasaha Vishaya Vichara Samarthya Sattvat Swadahe Virajyeta iti yuktam. Mind can withdraw by itself because it has the ability to withdraw. But in the case of sense organs, Bahyendriyanam Shrotradinam, sense organs that are going outward towards objects such as ears, etc., Jnana Karananam, then Vagadinam Karma Karananam cha. Walk, then what is Pani, Pada, Upastha, Payu, these five of them. Swastatra, Swadaha Tatra Samarthya Abhavat. Since they cannot withdraw by themselves, it has to be the mind. Therefore, Pragrahastaniyena Manasa, with the help of the mind which is capable of withdrawing them with its power. Ashvastaniyanam, because they are like horse, Horse is going. In a chariot, horse is connected or yoked. But the Ashwatha, the Ashwaha, the horses cannot go by themselves or stop by themselves. The mind alone has to, or the charioteer, or the, what do you call the reins. They are the ones which can be pulled by the driver. In the same way, Ashvastaniyanam, Bahirindriyanam, Shabdadi Vishaya Margebhya Paravartya. Taking away from the path which they usually go, Parangmukhi Kritya, avoiding that or removing them, Swasvagolake, in their own points from which they come out. See, it's very interesting. Ramana Maharshi would say, seeing takes place when your eyes are open. But eyes are not seeing, it is a mind seeing through the eyes. So when your mind is capable of withdrawing the attention from the eyes, even though the eyes are open, they are not going anywhere. Actually, eyes are not going anywhere anyways. If I am seeing an object, eyes are going there. Is it so? Through the eyes, mind is going there. Sometimes when eyes are open, but you will not see anything if your mind is occupied. Sometimes people listen, keep the headphones also, but they won't listen. Yeah. So, what is actually seen? So, withdrawal of the mind can be done by the mind. So, withdrawal of the mind means what earlier we saw. Dosha drishtya, by the looking at the defect of the objects of the world, mind not dwelling on them. That is called samana. Whereas Indriya Nigraha is where mind is now withdrawing from the world, the sense organs withdrawn and brought to their original point. Swa golake. Gola means their own apertures. So eyes need not have to go there. Eyes need to stay here only. Ears need not listen to anything there. Ears come back to here only. In that way, Parangmukhi kritya swasva kavalake karna shuskuli vadanadi desheshu sthapanam uparatavya uparata vyaparada asambhadanam. So what it says is asambhadanam means why eyes are going there? To capture the form. Why ears are going there? Capture the sound. There is a kind, that's what we use in English. Capture. Not to capture. That is called asambhadana. So even though the eyes are seeing but not capturing the form, ears are listening but not capturing the sound. See, this is why it is important is when you sit for meditation, you may close the eyes, but you cannot close the ears. You cannot close the nose. If you close the nose, then better, inform everybody then. Swamiji, I can close the eyes, but how will I close the ears? Ask your teenager, he knows very well. Boom, 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 boom. That is what closing the ears. Why he is using that? Because he doesn't want to listen to you. That's why. So, what do you mean by that capturing? The ears are trying to capture the sound. By Dhamma, it is not engaged in capturing the sound or any sense activities through the senses. That is what is called Dhamma here. Uparata vyaparata asambhadanam yat saha Dhamma parikirtita. So that is why in Kathopanishad, Mana adinam pragrahadi rupatvam Kathopanishad yuktam Atmanam ratinam viddhi shariram ratamevatu buddhim tu saratim viddhi mana pragrahamevacha indriyani hayanahu vishayansteshu gocharan iti. In Kathopanishad, beautifully it is explained that body is the chariot, sense organs are the horses, mind is the rein, buddhi is the driver, road is the world. On the road, horses are running, pulling the chariot, driven by the buddhi, driven by the driver, holding onto the reins, right? The person who is holding on the reins only can direct the horses accordingly with the use of the reins. In the same way, world is the sense objects. Sense organs are the horses. Mind is the reins. Buddhi is the driver. Chariot is the body. Owner is you. The owner, poor fellow, is sitting there depending entirely upon the driver to take care of it. That is why it is beautifully that the same thing is used by Vyasa in Gita Upadesha. Owner is Arjun. Driver is who? Krishna. Entire onus is on Krishna, not on Arjun. So if Krishna had not been there, he would have been in trouble. So mind is the control there. That is why mind, which is connecting the buddhi to the sense organs. Gurudev always said, mind is a reporting agent. Buddhi is the boss. Sense organs are the servants. Servants act according to the commands that is given to them by the agent, meaning the supervisor. That is the mind. But he is acting according to the boss. So buddhi, manaha, indriyani. So in that way, the category is given. So therefore, nigrahanam, indriya nigrahanam is only possible only when there is powerful mind. That's why Shama is first. Shama and then Dama. Because Shama is capable of withdrawing itself where the sense organs cannot. It has to take the help from the mind. So that is why Vishayebhya Paravartya Sthapanam Swasva Golake Upayesham Indriyanam Sadama Parikirtitaha. That is why Dama is used. Now, what is Uparati? That is said here in this Bahya Analambanam Vrittehe. Analambanam. Alambana means support. Bahya Analambanam, with no support of the external nature, Vrittehe Uparati. Vrittehe of the thoughts. Now, beautifully it is explained here. Tatoka Udagasya Tataka Chidra Dwara Nirgatya Yada Kshetradi Atmana Parinamaha. Evam Andastasya Manasaha Shrotradi Chidra Dwara Bahiragatya Shabdadi Vishya Akarena Parinamarupa Vrittihi Jayate. Now you see, if there is a small pond there is a pond. This is called Tataka. This Tataka has got some canals. So when you are doing irrigation in the land, the water is first of all collected to a particular reservoir. From the reservoir, various fields are given the water from there, water channels. So the water goes through the channel, and let us say there is a land of some size. It takes to that form. The water spreads out to that form. If there is a little pit is there, the water will fill up that pit. If there is a square field, it will go to the square formation of the water. So water takes the form of the land that it is flowing in, correct? So that's why Tadaga Udagasya, Tadaga Chidratwara Nirgatya, having come out, Yata Kshetradi Atmana Parinama. It takes that form. In the same way, Antastasya Manasaha, mind which is within, Shrotradi Chidratwara, going through the channels of the senses, Bahiragatya, coming out, Shabdadi Vishaya Akarena Parinama Rupa, it takes a form of the sound, etc. And that is called vritti. That's called thought. So thought is Vishaya Akar. So when I'm hearing a sound, and the sound is heard, that very moment, mind creates a, what is mind? The thought is created to the form of a sound. When I'm seeing another object, that object, as soon as is seen by the eyes, the vritti takes that form. So this way, continuously, akara takes place. Vritti akara. According to the object whether it is perceived. That is called vritti. But nigrihiteshu cha bahirindriyeshu antastam manaha na bahya akarena parinamate iti bhava. When shama and dhamma are practiced, vritti doesn't take place. That is called uparati. The thought formation is reduced or stopped. It is important to note that, because if you slow down and watch how the thought formation takes place, as I said, if my mind is occupied with something, even if my eyes are looking at an object, it doesn't take that form, isn't it? So you call your teenage boy, dinner is ready, come. See, his ears are open, but thought formation doesn't take place. So what happens? 2-3 times you call, that fellow doesn't respond. I'm telling you so many times, I didn't hear. Oh, what do you mean by you didn't hear? I'm shouting at the top of my voice. He didn't hear means what? Thought formation did not take place. So when the thought formation does not take place, obviously he would not register it. Sound may be you making, but it does not. See, even now, do you think that it is absolutely silent here? There is the Wi-Fi thing is making big noise. You don't hear it. Because you're not paying attention there. The system here is making sound there. But we don't hear that because our attention is not on that. Now you can, no, because you are paying attention. Now you start, oh yes, there is a sound there. So even when you go to a party, so many people are. Do you think you will see everybody there? You will remember all of them that you saw? Or even as you are looking, if you are looking for someone in the crowd, others won't be registered in your mind. That formation doesn't take place. You may look through them, right? Some people are very capable of, they look at you, but actually looking through you. So the thought formation, nigrihiteshu cha bahirindriyeshu, antastam manaha, mind which is now within, where it is all sense organs are withdrawn, na bahya akarena parinamate. That is called bahya analambanam vrittehe. There is no thought supported by the external perception. That is called esha uparati. This is called uparati. Yada na bahyam na alambade chittam tada sidoshnadi dvandasya apratiyamanattvat. Now you see, the next step is when the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin, when the ability to not create thought formation due to withdrawal from the senses, and the mind also has withdrawn, sense organs have withdrawn, and the vritti is not taking place, then would you feel even if there is a heat and cold? Yes or no?
If it is like a normal heat and cold, you won't.
So here, the next one is what is called titiksha. Yatha bhakyam na alambade chittam. When the mind is no more having a supporting element outside which is creating thoughts in the mind, tada, then shidoshnadi dvandasya, cold, heat, etc., which are called duals, apradhiyamanatvat karma kaladivashat tat prasaktao api, even though they come because of your whatever be the situation, or because of the previous karma that you have done, accordingly the experiences that you may have to face, tat sahana rupa tidiksha siddhyati iti aha sahanam iti. Ability to bear.
So you do feel the heat, but
You may feel because of the previous situations, or according to your karma, you may have to go through certain experiences. But the intensity will be less because you have got the ability to not to create thoughts demanded and dictated by the world. That's called Bahya Analamanam, right? See, it is simple as that. If somebody is saying something, maybe they are disrespectfully saying, dishonorably they are behaving, or they are very criticizing, ridiculing. In which case, there is, when you hear it and then you give importance and reality to it, it starts creating a formation of thought in your mind. That's why Buddha has said, no, when he was scolded by somebody and he came back very coolly, he came and sat down, but his disciples were very agitated. So he asked, what is the reason? Why are you people are so disturbed? He said, how dare he calls you names, that fellow who is in the city. So what do you want to do? We want to go back and shout at him. Okay, if you have taken it, you go and give it. So what about you? I didn't take it, so I have nothing to give it back to him. Meaning he doesn't even take that formation, the thought formation itself does not take place. Only when there is a thought of revengefulness or unhappiness or hurt, then you feel like retaliating to it. So it is not that even in a Mahatma's case, there will not be any sorrow. You cannot say that. Because according to the past actions, there will be certain experiences will come to the Mahatma also, but he will not react to it. Because that formation of thought for reaction doesn't take place. It's not that thought has come of reaction and then he will control it. No, the thought itself won't come. So here it is said in the next verse, Sahanam sarva dukkhanam apratikara purvakam Chinta vilaparahitam Sati tiksha nigadyate Sahanam sarva dukkhanam apratikara purvakam Chinta vilaparahitam Sati tiksha nigadyate. Sati tiksha, that is called titiksha. Tolerance. So, sahana, sarva dukkhanam sahanam. Sahanam, ability to bear all discomforts and sorrows. So, then what is it that is very silently suffering? Is that what you are saying about? No. Apradikara purvakam. As Gurudev writes here, there is no retaliation about it. Titiksha is the capacity to endure all sorrows and suffering without struggling for redress or revenge. We always have that, if we are capable of retaliation, we do it. If we are not capable of retaliation, we lament. मुझे ही हो रहा है. Everything happens to me only. Why not to my cousin, my neighbor, my sister-in-law? Only to me. So always that is called lamentation. That is called chinta vilapa. Chinta, worry, vilapa, lamentation. So kambala vichanadibihi shidoshnayadi dukkha pratikaraha loka prasiddha. Kambala meaning very and the heavy, thick clothing. When it is very cold, you use that. Vyajana is fan. When there is too hot, you use. So if there is heat, then you use the fan. When there is cold, you wear the, what do you call that? Chadar. Kambali. That's a kambala. So, Shidoshna adi dukkha pradikara. It is to offset, right? To overcome. Loka prasiddha, that is known. Tadrishaha samagriya abhave, when those are not available, kim asmabihi dinehi karaniyam iti chinta. What is chinta? क्या करूं, मुझे ये सब नहीं मिलता है, नहीं है, ऐसा चिंता. It is called worry there. Anxiety, pralabascha, and lamentation. So here, vichara sadhana didikshayaha tadatvam vyavartayati apradikara purvakam chinta vilaparayitam yat sahanam sadhikshayati. So there is no lamentation or anxiety to overcome that, because there is no thought process of trying to avoid them in the mind. So you mean to say then he will have to suffer through that? When it is cold. Some people know go to the other extreme also. Purposely they go there into heaven. Cold water bath. On a winter day, the two in Chicago or in New York. What you call ice cream challenge. I mean, not ice cream, what you call ice water challenge, right? This be Facebook and all, you see people doing that. Take a whole full bucket of ice cold water on a winter day. Now, so how many of you bet that I can't do it? Tell me. No, I'm doing it for the, what do you call that? Homeless people. So, no, 100 people, $1, so $100. Okay, $100. So, is it that one has to purposely go and do all those things? In the name of religion, people do. They go and poke the tongue. It's not they do. They put the thing inside the tongue, and then this thing, all sort of things they do. That is not necessary. Why go to the extreme amount of, it's torturing the body. This is not a torture. It is the ability to recognize that the body is the outermost layer of my personality, and I am not merely that body which is going through these joys, the heat and cold, etc. Nor even my senses or the mind I am, which is subject to joys and sorrows. I am the self, and I as the self can detach from all these upadhis whenever I want. This is to confirm that to oneself, not a torture. So, apradikara purvakam chinta vilaparayitam yat sahanam dukkanam dukkha hedu shidoshni adhinam ityartha chinta vilapadi sahitasya manasaha vicharasya apastatvad iti bhavaha. So it is capable of, mind is capable of staying away from these things. Durapaha tatvat, durapastatvat, durapastatvat, durapastatvat. Okay, I have to see what that means. Is it English translation is there? Or not there, no?
Word by word is not there. Word by word is not
No.
there.
That I'm looking the Bhashya. Okay. So, Now that is the reason why it is considered as the tolerance is not a torture. Tolerance is the ability to withstand. The ability to withstand in the simple thing like heat and cold, which is at the level of the body, joys and sorrow at the level of the mind, success and failure at the level of the intellect, all of them should be equally treated as unavoidable dualities. You cannot avoid. Joy and sorrow you cannot avoid. Heat and cold you cannot avoid. Success and failure, gain and loss you cannot avoid. That's why Bhagavan Krishna says, Sukha dukkhe same kritva labha labho jaya jayo tato yuddhaya yuddhashva. No, Tantritikshasva Bharata is also there. But he also said that it is you keep you doing your work instead of getting sidetracked by all these things. Now, when we talk about Shama, Dhamma, Uparati, Titiksha, etc., one simple question everybody will ask is, why should I go through all these things? A normal person doesn't do all those things. A normal person acts normally. Why should he control the mind? Yes.
So, Swamiji, when the Titiksha happens, so you're basically arresting the heat and cold.
You're not arresting. You're withdrawing.
The thought formations for the subsequent thought. Okay, you're withdrawing. That means there are no.
There are no looking for an alternative. If it is cold, if there is no kambal, you will be sitting and worrying and lamenting, etc. But see, this does not mean if there is a kambal, let the kambal be there, let me suffer the cold. That is not the point here.
Yes. But if the kambal is not there and you have the titiksha, there is a dharma of the body also. The body will break down, right? Body will break down. Is that what he means when he says karma kala diveshat?
No. Here, it's even when you want to avoid certain things, it will come to you. That is what karma kala.
So that is you don't have a kambli and it's cold. That the cold occurrence is because of karma.
And you are going through that is due to karma. That's what he means. So if someone asks, why do I need to go through all these kind of Shama, Dhamma, Uparati, Titiksha, all these things? The simple thing is you have to go through that because if your lakshya is moksha, then these kind of ability to withdraw your mind at will without having any support of the external object, that is called freedom. If the freedom is not your objective, then none of these things are necessary for you. So therefore, one should have a basic faith in the possibility of reaching the highest goal. That is called Shraddha, which is said in the Shastra by the Guru. That's why Idanim Vastu Upalabdhi Asadharana Karanam Shraddham Nirupayati. Shastrasyadi. Asadharana Karanam. It's not Sadharana Karanam, Asadharana Karanam. It is a unique cause. What is the purpose? Karanam here, purpose. What is the highest? What is the correct? Karanam. What is that which can hetu? What is the way we can finally achieve the highest goal? That is only through this unique quality called Shraddha. So here in the next verse, Shastrasya Guru Vakyasya Satya Buddhyavadharana Sa Shraddha Katita Sadbihi Yaya Vastu Palabhyate Shastrasya Guru Vakyasya Satya Buddhyavadharana सा श्रद्धा कथिता सद्वी यया वस्तुपलभ्यते. सत्य बुद्धि अवधारणा श्रद्धा. सत्यम इति बुद्धि. जो शास्त्र ने कहा, गुरु ने कहा, वो सत्य है, ऐसा अवधारण करना. So understanding and recognizing that what is said in the scriptures and by the guru is true. Then only, see, today morning, today evening also on that Dvaita Makaranda, that point came. विचार कहाँ उत्पत्ति हो रहा है? When I see the snake, which is not a snake actually, there is a projection of snake, actually there is rope, but when I see the snake, I don't have the knowledge of the rope. Correct? And I don't even know that it's a projection. And I see only the snake until somebody says it is not a snake. If it is not a snake, what is it then? It's a rope. Now, even if I hear the sound that it is a rope and it is not a snake, but since I have been seeing the snake, will I doubt my own conclusion? When do I start doubting my conclusion? Only when I start thinking that this fellow is more wise than me. Isn't that true? That person who is saying it is not snake, it's rope, I must have believed that fellow knows about this better than me. Any guidance you can get from a person only when you know that the other person is better than me. So only when I have faith in the words of the person who says it is not snake, it is rope, then only I start inquiring how it is not a snake. Even though I have not seen the rope in that condition, I'm still seeing the snake only there. But because this person says it is not snake, I doubt about my own conclusion. Then I start inquiring whether my doubt, my conclusion which I arrived at first place is correct or not. That is called vichar. Samshaya nivritti. So, Shravanam mukhya karanam vicharasya. सुनना श्रद्धा के विचार करने के लिए पहला कारण है. हेतु. Karan here means hetu. First cause or first reasoning, first reason or the first ingredient for vichara, inquiry, is listening. Followed by listening, there should be a shraddha, shraddhanvita shravanam. श्रद्धा के साथ ही श्रवण करना चाहिए. उस श्रद्धा अन्वित श्रवणेन विचारं कर्तव्यः, विचारः कर्तव्यः, विचारेण ज्ञानम्. When you inquire and then find out yourself how foolishly I have concluded that to be a snake, actually it is only a rope, and proper inquiry is done, and you switch on the light and other things, then you come to conclude, oh, yet it is rope. And what you have come to arrive at? Foolishness of your conclusion and the validity of that person's statement. Right? In the same way, Brahma Satyam iti upadeshaha. The statement that is Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya is not the way I see it. Jagat Mithya iti na pashyami. I am not seeing that way. But because of the shraddha that one will have in the words of the teacher and the scripture, one comes to start wondering why I am seeing the Jagat as Satyam instead of Mithya. जो सत्य है वो दिखता नहीं. Brahma Satyam iti it's said, but that I don't see it. So that is the reason why Shraddha is, that's why it says, asadharana karanam Shraddha. It's a unique requirement here. Shastrasya, we read this, right? Okay. Loke api aptavakye vishwasa abhave na eva tad anusarena pravartate purushaha. Loke api, even in this world, aptavakye, when a person of authority, when he says, vishwasa abhave, when you don't trust, na eva, not at all, tad anusarena, accordingly, pravartate purushaha, a person will walk. When you don't have vishwas, when you don't have a trust in somebody's words, you will not walk, you will not take seriously. Vicharado, in the case of vichara, what to talk about then? In this kimuta atindriye शास्त्रार्थे, जो दिखता है उसमें भी आपका विश्वास नहीं है, जो नहीं दिखता है उसमें भी आपका विश्वास कैसा होगा? Whatever I see in itself is false, that we do not even accept. What about the thing which you don't even see? Uska kitna shraddha hona chahiye? Kimutah atindriye shastrartyod atah sas paramakaranam. A supreme reasoning, a supreme hetu. Shraddha paramakaranam. Uktam hi Gitayam. It is said in the Gita also. Ashraddhadana purushaha. Those who have no faith in that, dharmasyasya parantapa, O sculptor of enemies, one who do not have faith in the supreme dharma, aprapya mam, without reaching me, nivartante, return back, mrityu samsara vartmani, in this world of death. Mam aprapya, mrityu samsare, nivartante. Samsara vartmani nivartante. Iti. Yastavat shanto danta uparadi stitikshuhu cha sayeva brahma ekameva satyam tadeva tvam anyat sarvam mitya iti guruna vedantascha vedantaischa bodhyamanam vastu vishwasiti idam eva iti. There, even as the person who has the mind has become Shantaha, meaning mind is gained that control. Dhantaha, meaning Dhamma is also there. Uparadi is there. Tituksha is there. Such a person, Brahma ekameva satyam. The Brahman alone is one reality. Tadeva tvam. The teacher says, you are that. Anyat sarvam nitya. Everything else is illusory. Idi guruna, by the guru. Vedantaihi, by the Shastra, Vedanta Shastra. Bodhyamanam vastu, that which is being taught, that reality, Vishwasiti. Come to know idam eva iti. This alone is this. Na anyaha. Tadrisham sadhanahinaha idi shraddha tadanantaram pariganita guru vedanta vakya vishayini shastram tattvamasyaadi Shastram Guru Vakyam Tadanusari na asitvam samsari kintu nitya shuddha buddha mukta swabhavam param brahmaiva anyat sarvam mitya ityadi vakyam tasya satyam abadita artha bodhakam idi buddhya avadarana dhrida vishwasaha yaya vastu upalabhyate sa shraddha idi sadbihi katita ityanmaya. So when the teacher very clearly points out the reality by the use of Shastra, the Shastra, what is that Shastra has to say? Tat tvam asi ityadi Shastra, Guru Vakyamcha. So the teacher, when he talks about, when a person who does not have this kind of a sadhana, that's why I say, na anyaha, Tadrasham sadhana hinaha. Iti Shatra, Stadanantaram Pariganita. So, therefore, if Shama, Dama, Uparati, Titiksha is not, cannot be followed by somebody if one does not have Shraddha. Because if the faith is not there, there is no Vichara. When Vichara is not there, even that intent, the pre-qualifications such as mind control, etc., one will doubt, why do we need that? If you tell a calm person in the road, you must have self-control, you must have mind control. Kyun? Because I say so. You say anything you want. Because if Shraddha is not there, you will not have any one of those. There's no purpose for that. But well, the teacher says, Na asi tvam samsari. Very clearly says, you are not a samsari. Kintu nitya shuddha buddha mukta swabhavam param brahmaiva. You are of the nature of ever present, pure, ever awakened, supreme reality alone. Anyat sarvam mithya. All others are illusion. Satyam abadida arthabodhakam iti buddhya. Abadita means unfalsified. Badita means falsified. Abadita arthabodhakam iti buddhya. Avadharana. So it is not a false statement. It is unfalsified reality. In that way, understanding is called avadharana, drida vishwasa. So satya buddhi is not satyam abhadita arthabodhakam. Whatever is said is true and it is unfailing, infallible. Iti avadharana, drida vishwasa. By that alone, yaya vastu upalabhyate. Ya shraddhaya vastu upalabhyate. By that shraddha alone, shraddhavan labate jnanam. It is said also in Gita. And shraddhavan vichara margena jnanam labate. श्रद्धा है, विचार नहीं करता है, दिन बहुत श्रद्धा है मैं गुरु में, मैं कुछ विचार नहीं करता, वो कर रहे हो. For me, he is doing it. Why should I do it? Swamiji, will you study before the class? Yes. You study. We don't need to. Very simple. You study because you are studying for us. No, you do it. So, when I was a student there in Sandipani, my teacher has said, you see, I prepare for my class, but you should prepare for listening. As much as the teacher is preparing for teaching, the student also should prepare for listening. What is the preparation for listening? जो पहले पढ़ाया उसको विचार करना. That is what is called preparation for listening. Listening is not, merely sitting there and sitting in the class. Whatever is previously taught until that point where the guru has stopped, that must be clear. Then only whatever is going to tell you today will connect. If the Vivekachoodamani book is opened up only once on a Monday, Monday, I'll open the Vivekachoodamani book. Then, until then, what happens? See, it is like this. When you eat food, when do you eat the next food? Only after digesting the previous one. If you eat, let us say 1 hour back you ate, then after that 1 hour later, acha, ek aur baar khayenge. After 1 hour later, again I want to eat. You keep on eat. After some time, what? You cannot eat. Why? Because you have not digested anything. 1 hour, the 1 hour, the 1 hour. You just come to a point where you cannot take anymore. That's why when people say, Swamiji, nowadays I'm not going to this Vedanta class, Yo, kyun? Bahut sun liya. Bahut sun liya, man. Enough I listened. Okay. You listen. Did you digest? हाँ कर रहा हूँ, थोड़ा थोड़ा कर रहा हूँ. Just like your whatever you ate must be digested before you eat next time. In the same way, as much as the teacher is preparing the class, the student must also prepare the listening. And that is possible only when whatever is heard so far. That's why I know what we chant. Sahana vavadu, sahano bonuktu, sahaviryam karavavahi, tejasvino adhitam astu. Adhitam tejasvi astu. Whatever I have adhitam studied, that should remain brilliant in my mind. Tejasvi astu. That is the purpose where both the teacher and the taught are coming together. Why the teacher believes that the student has up to this point, whatever is taught has been, he has done the vichara, now I can take to the next level. Wahan kada hai, below somewhere. Then such a person, in where do you go? Arey Baba, come up. He's still in the first class only. He's not yet finished the first sloka. Kya kare fir? So, you know, when I was teaching, there are the first 3-4 rows of people, or 2 rows, I would say. I quickly ask question. What did I say yesterday? You must know exactly where we finished yesterday and what are the items we covered yesterday. Some of them sit in the last line. Why are you sitting in the last line? You will ask questions. So that's why I'm sitting in the last line. My questioning is not for putting you into trouble. To give, whether to know whether you are ready for listening. All right, we'll see. Please read and understand the content before next Monday. Om sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet. Om shanti shanti shanti. Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namah.